when we think about these different spiritual practices and creating big shifts, they have to make sense with your life, right? They have to really fit in to what you are coveting in your life. And the number one thing that is really easy that everybody could access is grounding in nature. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast, where practical spirituality meets real life. Hi, I'm your host, Sheetal Story. I'm a psychic medium, grief support counselor, professional astrologer, and a human design reader, and of course, a law of attraction master coach. With my unique blend of spiritual and practical tools, I am here to help you align with your soul-led purpose and ignite a life that sets your soul on fire. In this podcast, we are going to explore the principles of energy, astrology, spirituality, and psychology to help you heal your grief and create an aligned life and business from the inside out. Whether you are looking to deepen your intuition, understand your cosmic design, or transform your business, this podcast is for you. Join me each week for insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories that will guide you on your journey to living your very best life. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Sheetal Story or wherever you listen to this podcast. Let's dive in and start this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Story of Spirit podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the 7 spiritual practices that will help transform your life, even if you are busy. One of the number one things I hear from people, and to be honest, I hear from myself as well, is who has time for all of this stuff, right? There is so much in the spiritual world in terms of, charging your crystals in the moonlight, soaking things in salt, setting intentions every day. There's lots of things you can be doing. And if you're in my MIA Academy membership, we take up a different spiritual practice every week. And it's for you to try on different tools, learn how they incorporate in your life, and then try another one. It's not to hold all the tools, right? Like you're not a surgeon that learns how to use all the tools and the surgeon's holding all the tools while he's trying to create, a masterpiece in terms of surgery. So this is about you learning how to use different spiritual practices at the right time, right? How it incorporates into your life, because small, consistent spiritual practices can create big shifts in your life. And the reason why we have these practices is to bring you back home, to bring you back to your center, because life can take you off your center. And it is so easy, right? I mean, you watch the news, somebody in your life has a diagnosis, you have something unexpected come your way, you get an unexpected bill from the CRA, you get sick, your kids get sick. Oh my gosh, so much can take us off our game. And that's why I really, really love, at the beginning of the year to create a vision board, because that vision board, and I'm going to say it's kind of a bonus spiritual practice, because it's something I love to do at the beginning of the year to help navigate the year, because you can forget about what it is you desire. And if you do a vision board properly, as we do, it's from the being to doing to having. It's not just the having, you don't just slap a bunch of magazine pictures onto your board. It's actually, who do you have to be to do the things you want to do to have the life that you desire? And it's the being words that really should be reflecting on your vision board, not just all the having. It's how does it make you feel? Because that feeling is going to be what carries you through your year. So when we think about these different spiritual practices and creating big shifts, they have to make sense with your life, right? They have to really fit in to what you are coveting in your life. And the number one thing that is really easy that everybody could access is grounding in nature. And, depending again on where you live, right? I live in the Northern Hemisphere here in Northern Canada. It is cold. At the moment that I am recording this, it is minus 40 degrees Celsius. That's right, minus 40 outside. It's not a time that I'm going to be grounding in nature, outside, putting my feet in the grass. There's no grass. It's all covered with snow. So it's not a time where I'm going to be out in nature. And you might have to find that nature for you. I actually really love standing at my window and taking in nature from my window. It is so beautiful. Even that is really grounding because you are staying present in the moment and looking at this beautiful scene. I have this wonderful, huge picture window here in this part of my house, and it is lovely because I get to really be with nature, but from the warmth of my window, from the warmth of my house. But when it is nicer outside, you can go for a walk, even, even if it warms up another 20 degrees, which it's supposed to the next few days, walking outside amongst the trees. I live in a bird sanctuary area. So even walking around on the trees or walking to get the mail, walking outside in itself is very, very grounding because even the pitter patter of your feet. Do your feet pitter patter? I'm not sure, but the movement of your feet and the cadence of your walk can be very meditative in itself. So when we're out in nature, the energy of nature actually fills our cup. Nature is an endless energy source, right? Mother Nature, the earth is an endless energy source. And so when we are out in nature, energy is actually filling our cup. We are absorbing the energy of nature and helping to then shore up ourselves. So it's really interesting when we're grounding in nature. Now, the actual grounding of nature in nature is called earthing. When you take off your socks and your shoes, your bare feet are in the grass or on the earth itself, and the earth exchanges ions with you. So you actually take up energy literally from the earth. And that's science, right? There's ions that are entering your body from the earth itself. It's called earthing. So it is really a very healing practice to do, not when it's minus 40 outside. So, take that wherever you are in the world. See if you can do that for yourself, being outside in the grass or in the earth when it feels warm enough outside to do so. And notice how you feel, even just closing your eyes and putting the awareness on your feet. And how does it feel? Do you feel any of Mother Nature's energy coming up? So, number 2 practice, which I personally do every day, and it is setting an intention in the morning. So, as soon as you wake up, you are very susceptible. Your energy, you're just coming out of sleep. And that is a time to set the intention of what you want to experience for the day. So, one of my favorite intentions is I'm delighted and surprised by the magic of the universe today. Abundance flows into my life today. I am so joyful and I'm excited to live a fulfilling life today. So I'm setting the intentions as today, as if it's already happening, and I'm setting it in my mind. So as soon as I become aware that I'm awake, I will set that intention. And if you're one of my students, I will say to write it down, right in your intention booklet on your board, or sorry, on your side table. Have a journal there and write it down in your journal what your intention was for the day. And then go about your day. Do your thing. You don't have to remind yourself of it. It's already set it and forget it. Like you said, I said before, I am very low maintenance. I don't want to continue to have to do, dance in the moonlight naked with a jewel on my forehead. Like I really just want to have a good life with minimal effort possible. So, morning intention setting, I urge you to do this because it's such a phenomenal practice. Because how this is working is you're setting the intention, meaning you've already told your brain what you are expecting for the day and what you will receive. You've also told the universe what it is that you want to experience and have as an experience for the day. And then you're writing it in your booklet and your journal on the side of your nightstand, and then you're going about your day. Now, when you come back at the end of the day and you're getting ready for bed, taking your journal and just journaling, how did this intention actually inform your day? And you're going to start to see, you'll notice where it did or did not. And most oftentimes it does, right? If it did not inform your day, then a follow-up question is, what about the intention you set felt unsafe? What about the intention you set felt unsafe? So if you feel like life is easy today for me, and you did not have an ease-filled day, then why does an ease-filled day feel unsafe for you? Right? What is that about? Do you feel like everything worthwhile has to be worked hard for? Ooh, I felt that someone that's listening right now resonated deeply with that. I had a client that she had that exact feeling, is that I have to work hard for anything that's worthwhile in my life. So nothing can come easy because then it's not worthwhile. So guess what she manifested? A life not of ease because everything had to be worked hard for. So as we dug deep into why, where did she learn that? Well, her dad told her that hard work gets you things. So when it's easy, it's not worthwhile. It's not things that you want. So is that actually what she wanted? And when we got deep into it, it's no, she wanted a life of ease. She wanted to have more ease filled things come into her life and not everything have to be a struggle. So we rewired that in her subconscious and we started to work through that in her grief sessions and her coaching sessions to really get deeper into, can I feel comfortable with ease? Right? Can I feel comfortable with abundance? Can I hold abundance and feel like I'm a good steward of money? Like whatever it is for you, if you set an intent, and this is why this is such a healing practice because it will show you where you are comfortable. I love magic. I love being delighted and surprised by the universe. I always love setting that intention because I always have good days, right? When I set an intention for productivity, oof, or being of service, oh my gosh, I am so of service. I am so productive because so many things are put on my plate and I end up having to work really, really hard on those days. So I don't set those intentions anymore, right? This is all about finding out what works for you. I like to say in my intuition classes is you're building your book of evidence. So your journal is your book of evidence. How does this work for you? These intentions work really well for me. Here's the evidence. I had a great day. And you can try it out. Maybe it was a fluke on this day, right? I love those discerning, skeptical minds. So let's try it on another day and see, did that work out for you or not so much? It's all right, right? It's your book of intention, your book of evidence, not mine. So I don't care. I hope it works out for you because I only teach things that worked out for me. And as I tried it out on others, it also worked for them too. So setting your morning intention, such a powerful yet simple spiritual practice. Practice number 3 is keeping a synchronicity or intuition journal. So, this could be the same journal that you set your intention in that you are keeping a book of evidence of how your intuition is working, how synchronicities are showing up for you. One of the most common questions I get is I keep seeing 555 or 333 or 111. What does it mean? I keep seeing these weird things. I keep finding feathers. What does this mean? And I always like to say, what were you doing right before you found it? What were you thinking about right before you found it? When you think about 1111 and anytime you see it, what happens for you? So, true story for me, every time I'm driving and a light goes out, you know, those lamp posts, the light will go out. I know I'm in for something kind of dark coming my way, right? And I don't freak out about it because it's going to be what it's going to be, right? I can go into it with an open mind and a curious heart, or I can go into it freaking out. Like I'm not freaking out about it because I know I'm protected and divinely supported. So whatever's coming, all right, I actually get into really curious excitement because I know everything is happening to help me elevate in life and to help me then help you all with what I'm learning. So when that light bulb goes out when I'm driving, and it'll be more than one because the universe will be like, all right, girl, we're going to show you that I know something is going to be coming my way. That's a kind of an important life lesson. And I just pay attention. And it's, you know, always it's almost feels like it's coming from somewhere external, right? Whether it's like I get a bill from the CRA or I get a flat tire or I get into a car accident. I mean, it's things that are just they're going to happen and it's not my fault, you know, it just happens for me and I'm experiencing it from a place of like, I wonder what is supposed to happen from this, because if I get a flat tire, guess what, it means like I have to call in support. So to be supported, that's, you know, an ongoing life lesson for me. And then I also likely am going to have to deal with, you know, insurance or a tow truck company or somebody. And whenever anyone crosses my path, they are likely in need of support. So I can't even tell you how many tow truck drivers, how many insurance people, how many people at auto body shops that I have either done readings for or given them a support because they're telling me about something just because I'm on the phone with them. So you cross people's paths, not just for you. I often cross other people's paths for them. So it's really interesting. I'm always like, I wonder who I'm going to meet during this time. So it's so fascinating because I literally am never upset about what's happening in my life because I know something else is coming from it, right? This is just a vehicle, literally, to get me there. So when you keep a synchronicity or intuition journal, it's going to help you to really see how what you're receiving or what you're becoming aware of is coming up for you. So I always say, whether you listen to your intuition or you don't, you're going to get the lesson, right? If your intuition says, don't go down this road, and you're like, I'm going to go down this road, and then you hit an accident and now you're waiting in traffic for 2 hours, guess what? You got the lesson. You should have learned to your intuition, listen to your intuition, right? If you did listen to your intuition and you got home and you heard on the radio, if you listen to the radio anymore, or you heard there was a massive accident and man, how did you not get caught in it? I listened to my intuition. So either way, you learn the lesson, right? How many of you, and I want to challenge you to this, to think back in your life where you got an intuitive download to do something or not to do something and you didn't listen. Did you learn the lesson or what? Right? I always I always kind of think, do I feel lucky today? If I hear very clearly spirits say, take this exit, I will take the exit. I don't even question anymore. I just know that that's the right thing to do and I just do it. Right? Wherever it takes me, I am going in that direction. I don't even question anymore. But back in the days when I questioned things, oof, it always showed me how bang on I really was. Right? And the more you trust your intuition, the stronger it's going to get. The stronger the universe is speaking to you, the more you trust it, the louder it's going to become. You're tuning into that vibration. So tune into it, right? And if you don't tune into it, you get the lesson too. So as you keep this journal and you start to kind of go, oh my God, I got this intuitive download and this thing happened, or I got this intuitive download and I didn't listen, then here's what happened too. So you're building your book of evidence of how this works for you. So practice number 4 is breath work for nervous system regulation. Now, there's breathwork facilitators out there, and you go to these breathwork workshops and things like that, and you tend to sort of hyperventilate you into a state of where you're sort of disconnected or energy is moving through you. The breath is what connects you to life. You take your first breath as you step into this world, and you exit on an exhale, as they say. So in that exit on an exhale, so easy to say, right? That breath regulates your nervous system, and you can actually regulate your nervous system. So when you're feeling anxious or you're feeling nervous, you can do the anxious breath that activates your vagus nerve. So this is 4 in and 7 out. So as you breathe in for 4, and then you exhale for 7. So you elongate the exhale, and that calms the nervous system, that oxygenates the brain. It gives more time for your lungs to take in oxygen, and it gives space for your mind to just relax a little bit. So the 4-7, great breathing for really calming the nervous system. Now, some breathwork facilitators or practitioners will ask you to hold your breath. So there's a box breath called 4-4-4-4. So you 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. But I have heard in my trauma training that when you hold breath, trauma holds breath. And we don't want that. So even my grief counseling, if I see you holding your breath in a moment where, there's something that's really poignant moving through or you're crying, I'm going to prompt you to breathe. We don't want to hold our breath because that can actually be very triggering for the body. So I personally don't believe in holding the breath when you're trying to regulate your nervous system. We just want to elongate the exhale and bring as much calmness to the exhale as possible. So we're breathing in, and I'll say breathe in and breathe out slowly, as slow as you can make it without it being uncomfortable. Even that is enough, right? You're just slowing down the exhale. And if you can do so with closing your eyes and bringing your awareness to your breath, you're bringing more regulation. And this is a spiritual practice because you're bringing more vitality to the body. You're slowing down the mind. You're oxygenating the brain. And you're bringing yourself into a little bit of space to have more clarity. It's really a great, great practice that I do it every day, actually, even when I'm facilitating classes or when I'm doing a meditation before I see any clients. I'll just do a little breath work, a little meditation, a little intention setting for each session. And it's amazing. It changes the energy of everything. So, practice number 5 is using oracle cards for clarity. I love oracle cards. And oracle or angel cards are cards that have a lot of beautiful symbolism. They're light, bright. They might have words on them. They're different from tarot cards. So, tarot cards are 78 cards in the deck. And they follow a certain system with regards to all the cards in there. They all have meaning. You must know the cards' meanings for tarot. Whereas for oracle or angel cards, you don't need to know the meanings of them because they normally come with a guidebook, or you can sort of intuit them from looking at the cards. In Intuition 201, I teach you how to do a card reading, and in MIA, we're also going to do that in an upcoming workshop, how to do a card reading using oracle or angel cards and not using the guidebook, using your own intuition, because the guidebook is a lovely guide. That's why it's called a guidebook, but it's not better than your own intuition. I can tell you that. And every time I train people to use their own intuition over the guidebook, their intuition gets stronger and they realize that they're getting more clarity from the cards than even what the book says. So it's amazing. So oracle cards, when you get them, they come in a deck and you can buy them online. If you have a metaphysical bookstore in your area, most times they'll have practice decks or decks that are out. Here in our city, there's a place called Ascendant Books, which is a fantastic place to get cards. And they'll have practice decks on a ring. So they'll have a hole punched in the corner and they'll be on a ring, like a key ring. And you'll just ask the cards, what do I need to know for this moment in time? And you pick a card from the deck and you can see if that card is meant for you, that deck is meant for you. So if you pick a card that has no meaning for you, do not buy that card. Put the deck away and walk away. Card decks are so addictive because they're so beautiful and you get different messages and different imagery from different decks. So I feel like once you buy one, the floodgates open and you might get more. So it's really great when you can actually touch the decks and see if you like them. You can research them online as well. I know hayhouse.com has a really great deck spread of the decks that they publish with their company. And you can look on Amazon as well for Oracle and Angel card decks. I again would just caution buying all sorts of cards. Like you really want to buy, especially if you're a beginner and you've never bought cards before, to pick cards with lots of imagery and words on the front, so that it kind of helps you to read the cards. And whenever you get a new deck of cards, you'd want to open them up, touch every card. So it's sort of like you're infusing your energy in that card deck. And then you shuffle it once, knock on the deck. So knocking on the deck clears the energy from the deck. And now you set an intention and then you shuffle the cards. So what do I need to know for this moment in time? And you shuffle the cards and then you pull a card from anywhere in the deck. Normally I pull from the top because I trust spirit. I'll pull from the top, and then that card will have meaning for me for that day. So actually we'll do that at the beginning of the day. When I'm working out, I'll do a workout. I'll do a little meditation, 5 minutes, where I'm listening to a meditative song. Then I'll pull a card from the card deck and I will journal on that card. So that way it helps you to set the energy for the day. You're grounding, setting an intention for the day, and then I go about my day. If I'm not doing a workout, then I'll pull a card before I start my workday and I'll put it on a little kind of altar that I have here on my desk. So that brings us now to practice number 6, which is an energy clearing ritual. So energy clearing ritual can be smudging, it can be white light, it can be sound healing, it could be, hitting a singing bowl in the day or listening to music as well. Music is vibration, right? Anything that has vibration or clears the vibration of a space is an energy clearing ritual. So even in an energy clearing ritual, you want to set an intention. See, intention tells energy what to do and how to do it. So setting an intention to clear this space and clear the energy, I will just actually bring in the white light and create a safe space for every session that I'm in, whether it's a reading, grief counseling, or coaching session. And then practice number 7 is connecting with your spirit guides daily. So, one of the things I hear from my Intuition 101 class, we connect with our spirit guides through a meditation practice where we call in the spirit guides. We learn about spirit guides, who could be on your spirit guide team. You have spirit guides on your team, more than one. You likely have guides that have never been, never breathed life before. So never, they're so evolved, they were never, human kind of thing. And then you also have spirit guides that are people who have lived before but have special practices in things. So let's say you're writing for your website, you can call in a writing guide that was a really good writer in their lifetime to help you write. So you're calling in spirits from the highest good for all concerned to help you with a task at hand. And we always do that first by setting an intention for, we're calling in for the highest good for all concerned. We'll do a little meditation to make sure our vibration is high and calling in our guides, guardians, and loved ones from the highest realms to join us today. So we're always setting the intention for, if we're calling in a spirit guide, we're calling it in for the highest good. They're only of the light and they're helping us out. We're not having any trickster energy coming in today, folks, right? So when you're calling in your spirit guides, you have a main guide that's been with you through every lifetime. And this guide is going to be helping you on your journey because before you came into incarnation, you gave yourself a series of checkpoints and life lessons that you wanted to learn. But you have free will as a human being. So you might not know these checkpoints. You might not realize this is something you wanted to experience. And some of our life lessons are really hard, y'all. Like some of you chose the deluxe plan. Let's be honest, right? It's not easy. In spirit, it looks like, we could do that because we're so love and light. But when we come into incarnation, we have all these experiences. We forget about our true soul self. So we can have really hard life lessons. And some of the hardest ones are depression or coming from abusive families, things that are really hard to navigate. And it's almost like we forget our light. So we need help along the way. So we get glimmers. Glimmers are beautiful stars that come into our life that are helpers on our journey. And then we also have our spirit guides that are also aware of our life lessons and are always guiding us. Where this is where you find a feather, or you see 111 or 222, or all of a sudden a blue jay crosses your path and you look up what a blue jay means and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. So you get these little nudges from the universe that you're on the right track. That's what those synchronicities are, is just to let you know you're on the right track. Because sometimes we can feel so lost, right? I mean, free will gives you so many potential paths. And if you're like me, I'm very mutable. When I have too many potentials, I feel overwhelmed. And so I really don't like a whole lot of potentials. I always like this or this, right? It's also part of my human design, which I will talk about on another episode. So when we come back to connecting to our spirit guides, they are always guiding us. We can call in support from our guides. It's like one of the biggest kept secrets. You're not in this life by yourself. You can call in parking guides to help you. I know this drives one of my mentors absolutely crazy. He's like, they don't have anything better to do up there, Sheetal, than to help you find a good parking spot. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Because why not show yourself to me in this way? I was like, oh my gosh, every time I call in my parking guides, I get a phenomenal parking spot. So, and I'll almost imagine where the parking spot is going to be. I'll go look in that area and boom, it will be there. To the point now that when we go to the movie theater, my husband's like, okay, Sheetal, where are we going for parking spot? And I'll be like, over there, and boom, we will find a spot. So call in your guides, ask for support. If something feels hard, call in the spirit and say, I need your help now. Please show me the way, or give me support now, or make this easy for me, and see what happens. Someone might drop into your life that's like, oh, I could do that for you. Or, oh, I know somebody who can do that. Or, hey, let me take that on for you. You never know. But if you have a wound of doing everything by yourself, hyper independent, because you couldn't trust anyone to be there for you when you were young, or anytime you delegated it, they weren't there for you, they disappointed you, or you just didn't have anyone to delegate to, so you just learned to do everything yourself. This is a huge way to heal that. Just call in spirit. They love to help you. But because you have free will, they cannot just come in and help themselves to your life. They have to be invited. And remember, for the highest good for all concerned, we're always calling in spirit for the highest good for all concerned, from the light only. So, and your spirit guides are there to support you. You know who else is on your spirit team? Are your loved ones that have crossed into spirit and your ancestors too. So sometimes they will come and you'll smell their perfume, or you'll get a sense that someone's here, or you'll just know that you get goosebumps and you're like, oh, who's here? You can even close your eyes and ask. And you might even feel your grandmother around you, or you might feel your uncle, or you might feel your dad, right? Those spirits are bound to you by love. So they don't just, the bonds of love aren't dissipating as they take their last breath. They are bonded to you by love for life, just as you are bonded to the people in your life by love for life. If you were to take your last breath, you would come back and visit your kids or visit your mom or visit the people around you as they mourned you. So you can call them in and ask for their support because they are happy to give them. And you are not alone in this lifetime. So my ask of you, my challenge to you, my friends, is how can you integrate one or two of these practices? And I'm going to summarize them here so you can sort of go, which one would be easiest for you? I want you to go to the path of least resistance. What feels the easiest? One of these called to your heart. I know it because I intentioned it from the moment I said hello. So practice number 1, grounding in nature. Practice number 2, your morning intention setting. Practice number 3, keeping a synchronicity or intuition journal. Practice number 4, breath work for nervous system regulation. Practice number 5 is using oracle cards for clarity. Practice number 6 is energy clearing rituals. And practice number 7 is connecting with your spirit guides daily. So pick one or two, try it out, see how it goes, and please come back to this episode and let me know in a review if you're listening on one of the platforms that allow review, or a comment on my social media, and just let me know which one you chose and how did it affect your life. And if it didn't affect your life and it was crap, fine. Comment that too. I'm unattached to your results. I personally have tried all 7 of these. Some of them are more often than not, as I have mentioned, and they do change my life. They really do create so much more flow and ease and clarity. I'm not worried. I fully trust the universe. And my hope for you is that this brings more flow, clarity, ease in your life as well as you navigate the days ahead. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Story of Spirit podcast. I hope you have found inspiration, support, and practical insights to help you align with your soul-led purpose and live a life that sets your soul on fire. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continues to provide valuable content. I sincerely appreciate every share, and I know it is how most people find me. It is because caring people like you have shared me with them at the right and perfect time. For more resources, insights, and to connect with our community, please visit us at www.sheetalstory.com and follow us on Instagram at sheetalstory. Remember, your journey to a more aligned and vibrant life is just the beginning, and I am here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep shining your beautiful light. This is Sheetal Story, signing off from the Story of Spirit podcast. Here's the legal ease that's required by our lawyers. This podcast and the YouTube channel represents the opinions of Sheetal Story and her guests to the show. The content should not be taken as medical, psychological, or financial advice. This series is informational and entertainment purposes only. Because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional, your mental health dream team, your financial advisor, or anyone else that's an expert in the field in where you are thinking of making big choices in your life.